On this week's episode of Whitetail Cribs, we're headed back to Illinois once again to take a look at Grant Putnam's home. Grant is a school teacher by trade and one of the founders of Last Breath. Get ready to check out his new home, whitetail deer, and an archery range to impress. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you don't miss an episode of Whitetail Cribs.
The Exodus team is traveling around the United States to take a look inside the trophy rooms of some of the most interesting whitetail hunters in the country. From giant bucks, unique racks, and riveting stories, welcome to Whitetail Cribs.
What's up, Exodus Whitetail Cribs? Welcome to Grant Putnam's house. I'm Grant Putnam. This is where I live, and so we're gonna shut the door for a second. And actually, this is our kitchen. This is the first room that we're gonna start the tour on. My fiance and I live here, so she does all the decorating. And there's actually a pretty funny decoration right here. This was the first shed that I ever found, and I thought Garrett and Matt were messing with me when I found it, because this shed, I don't know if you can see my hand or not, it's a pretty small shed. And they were busy showing off the big sheds that they had found like 8 or 10 years ago when we went shed hunting. And they were actually huddled in a circle, and a huge oak leaf had fallen over this, and the only part that was exposed was the pedicle. And I thought they were messing with me because they were huddled up around it. And I leaned down and picked this little guy up, and been shed hunting ever since. So that's my first shed ever right there. Now, as we kind of come this way through the kitchen, I've got some more sheds off of the bucks that Garrett and I have hunted up here. Obviously all my appliances, stuff like that. I got some deer steak right here. It's actually for dinner tonight. And I'm gonna grill those up after I kick you guys out of here. But I actually made some deer jerky today, the dehydrator. So that kind of ends our tour of the kitchen, I guess, except for the fridge. So my favorite food on God's green earth is mac and cheese, and anything that's got cheese in it, I absolutely love. So my fridge, which is looking kind of scarce right now, is just loaded with cheese. I love cheese. Anything dairy, I love it. So now we're gonna go head into the dining room, and this is where a couple of my animals are hanging out here. So this is a 2015 archery antelope, my first antelope, and I actually have one at the taxidermist right now. But this particular antelope is kind of cool. He's got a double throat patch. He was developing a third, and I shot him in Colorado off the side of a cliff, actually, at like 77 yards with Garrett's bow. My bow I had bumped the sight, nailed it on a rock, and it was just all loosey-goosey, so I opted to use Garrett's bow and shot that guy. So if you come over here, like I said, my fiance and I live here, and we're just in the process right now of getting a new puppy. And so we got this little setup for him. I'm gonna go pick him up in a week. And got some trophies here. The Working Class Bow Hunter podcast did a fan favorite award, and Garrett and I won 2 years in a row. And this is a buck that my fiance shot, and their dad, which is my soon-to-be father-in-law, the same father-in-law that Garrett has. His name is Pat, and he made this African heartwood plaque for it. It's pretty cool. It actually, you can take it off there and move it wherever you want to, hang it up on a wall. And as we come over here, we got my mule deer from 2016. So Garrett and I actually went out mule deer hunting with a bow and arrow, and had about 2 close calls, went back with a muzzleloader and got it done with Jeff. Cool thing about this mule deer, he's got nice chocolate antlers, big deep forks, but he's got this little drop tine, and I count it as a drop tine. So Matt, if you're watching this, Matt's not the only one with drop tine. So as you kind of come over into here, this is our living room. And in our living room, that's where our top 6 whitetails are. So this is my first Pope and Young buck ever. right here. It's got double brow tine splits. And this is one of Michaela's deer. Probably some of the biggest brow tines I've ever seen on that guy. And my biggest one ever, which Garrett and I killed last year, and that's on season 5 of Last Breath TV. I don't know if I've said this already, but the one that produces our show and edits all of our YouTube content. That's another one of Michaela's deer there in the corner. He has 14-inch G2s, so all these are Illinois bucks in here. We got a couple more deer. That's a buck I killed with Garrett the season he shot Geronimo, and we found all those sheds that we called junkyard, and it's just this nice heavy 8-pointer. And Heartland Bowhunter's on TV right now in our house. That's what I enjoy watching the most, so I try to keep up with as much stuff as those guys possibly can put out. I'm always watching it. So this is our bedroom. It's where the magic happens. Got the moose blanket, and Garrett actually got me a Christmas present the other day. He got me some elk flannel sheet set, so that's pretty nice. Keeps me warm during the winter. So far, at least, I've only slept in there a couple times because it's only like the 27th or 28th right now. Here's all my closet, things like that. I'm a pretty organized person, so I've got all my polos for work right here. I don't know if I said it already, but I'm a 8th grade math school teacher by day, and then Garrett and I kind of run our business, Last Breath TV, by night. So that's what I do full time, is teach. And I've got all these shirts. Garrett and I were talking about this the other day. I don't think we've bought shirts in about 10 years. So this is one of my favorite shirts right now. Matthew's just sent that to me, and we just have all of our sponsor shirts over here that we wear around on the daily basis. And that's our room. And now we're gonna go ahead and go upstairs, check out a couple more deer. So this is the 2nd floor of our house. And as you kind of come up here, around the corner, this is my office and also the Last Breath Huntcast podcast studio. So if you're a podcast fan and you like listening to, we call it a huntroversial debate. This is where we record all of our huntroversies, and like I said, it's called the Last Breath Huntcast, so you can search it on Spotify, iTunes, anywhere podcasts are made. And this is our studio here. Here's my other mini wall, I guess, if you will. All these turkeys that we've killed. I think it's pretty cool. Something that I take a lot of pride in is Garrett and I do our own turkey taxidermy. So all these turkeys that are up here, we've done the taxidermy work on, which I think is pretty cool. This is my first long beard ever. Actually had to shoot him like 3 times with a smooth bore 20 gauge. It was not the right gun to be shooting turkeys with, but when you're 16 and don't have a lot of money, you play the card that you're dealt. So that's that bird right there. And I've got a couple more bucks. Both of these are shotgun bucks in Illinois. And got some turkeys, some beards. Got a tag here from muzzleloader season this year. Muzzleloader season didn't pan out for Garrett and I this year too well, so that tag didn't get filled. That's gonna just get thrown away in a second. But got this turkey rug up here that Garrett and I made when I was, I think I would have been like 19 years old. It was maybe my first year in college. We made these up and just been adding the spurs down there ever since. Logan got me this pretty cool Last Breath engraved like sheet of steel for Christmas like 3 years ago. And then here's a pretty nice deadhead I found, which Matt and Garrett and I actually found them together, and we think that this deer may have been a descendant of this deer with the 9-point frame and the crab claw at the end there. This one's a special deer here because this is my first buck ever. I shot him with a bow when I was 15, so that was pretty cool. And then here's some media things that Garrett and I have had the pleasure of being a part of. So that was an article that the paper wrote on us, and this was the first time that Garrett and I made the Matthews Annual, which is a catalog, a magazine, if you will, that Matthews Archery puts together every year. So there's Garrett's picture with our 2016 buck and another article there and things like that. So this is my office. This is where all the production work of Last Breath TV and all of our, I guess, video assets and stuff that we deliver to our clients and friends and stuff like that go. And actually, this is pretty cool. So if you whirl around here, last year we made it into the Badlands Film Festival, and this is the sign for the reserved seating. And neat thing was too, as we were filming Garrett's episode of Whitetail Cribs, I just actually got the email saying that we are in, our film that we submitted this year is into the 2020 Badlands Film Festival. So that's really good news for us. That's makes us pretty proud, stuff like that. So that's where all the editing and all my schoolwork and grad school work and stuff like that gets done, is up here. So I'm working on potentially becoming a principal one day, or maybe a superintendent in the future. So I'm continuing to take those grad classes, and that's where I do my work as well for that. I got my gun safe with 7 or 8 guns in it. And now we're actually gonna go back downstairs, and I'm gonna take you outside, show you my shooting range and my shed where all my hunting gear is. I don't know how X-rated you want to get with this, but my fiance's right in there taking a bath right now. So if you guys want to give this video a lot of likes, maybe we'll show you the bonus content soon. So keep an eye out for that. This is going to be the best episode of Whitetail Cribs there is. Nothing like a smoking hot naked chick. So we're going to go outside here, go onto my deck. So we're here outside in my backyard. I have a small fenced in portion. I actually just got a dog the other day, like I was saying, inside. But if I really want to stretch out the arrow, I can stand about right here. And I don't know if you guys can see way down there, but this is a 120-yard bomb. I just do it for fun sometimes. I'm not saying that I'm gonna kill a whitetail at that far, but this is the lane. I have a berm down there set up with a couple targets. That's where I put all my 3D and stuff at. And so we're actually gonna go take a peek in my shed, which is unfinished. I only moved here about 4 or 5 months ago. So I'm actually a school teacher, like I said earlier, and I'm gonna finish this up during the remainder of my holiday break. But right now you can see that the insulation's kind of, the past owner of the house didn't finish the inside, so I'm gonna finish the inside actually across the next 3 days. So I got my side-by-side, my truck, my fiance's car, and then my cooler's over here. So this little deep freeze over here is the one that Garrett and I take with us to Colorado or on our hunting trips every time. It is the perfect size for 2 full-size antelope to fit in, and this is where I keep all my wild game at and stuff like that. So I actually just got some sausage out for dinner. This is our beer fridge. I really like decals, so I don't know about you guys, but I cover all my coolers in decals, stuff like that. You never can have too many bows. So here's my current bow that I killed with a couple deer this season actually. And my backup bow is up here. It's a Matthews Tri-X. We got the Verdicts and the Tri-X. The reason I keep an extra bow with me at all times is because like 3 turkey seasons ago, Garrett and I were going to bow hunt a turkey, and one of the strings rolled off the cable, or rolled off the cam, and I was bowless. So every year I kind of save that second bow, and I've got a bunch of my other hunting stuff side by side here, and that's given some pretty big bucks in the last 3 years for at least Garrett and I a ride home. So that's about it. That's my whitetail crib, and I'm gonna kick you guys out of here now, but we'll see you next time.